Here's a house. It's a nice house. It gets electricity, water, gas, internet, etc. All those tasty utilities come to the house through these underground utility pipes that connect the house to the utility tree. I don't know, stay focused. The weird thing about these underground utility pipes, both at this house and my house and your house, is that even though people put them there once upon a time, nobody knows where they are now. And more than likely, we're gonna find out where those utilities are when the owners of this house break ground on a swimming pool in the front yard to maximize neighborhood jealousy, hit a fiber optic line, kill the street's Wi-Fi, and maximize neighborhood rage. In North America, according to this digging equipment company, this type of oopsie happens roughly every 10 seconds, meaning by the end of this video, about 40 underground utilities will have been whacked. Oh, there goes another one. Underground utility whacks cause about $30 billion of damage a year in the United States alone, the majority of the time because people don't know exactly where the pipes are before they dig. And that damage can range from a bit annoying, think brief power outage, to extremely dangerous. In San Francisco, in 2019, a construction crew accidentally hit a natural gas line, which proceeded to explode, sending an orange fireball to this restaurant, whose dinner has been hailed as slamming. Luckily, no one was injured, but the explosion and ensuing fire did a lot of damage to the surrounding area, in no small part because after the explosion, it took 50 minutes to even figure out which valve was connected to the burst line so they could shut it off. I.e., because nobody knew where the pipes were, the fire just kept burning, stove-style, until someone could turn off the gas and extinguish it for real. For another example, in 2011, a 75-year-old woman in Georgia, was digging a hole with a shovel and severed a fiber optic line. She didn't rain hellfire on a dim sum place, but she did accidentally cut off the internet for swaths of Georgia and the entire country of Armenia. And for more on this, might I recommend this fine video? Beyond damage, the nobody knows where the pipes are issue also makes it harder to fix problems with utilities. As you may have heard on the street, we used to build water pipes with lead to the tune of as many as 10 million lead lines hiding underground across the United States. But now that we're thinking we maybe shouldn't have done that and we want to replace them, there's no map to help find them all, meaning that one of the biggest challenges and costs of replacing lead pipes isn't even replacing them, it's finding them. So how did we end up in this situation? Why don't we have a map of all the pipes we've laid, and how are we supposed to find them without rupturing them and overcooking this slamming food at Hong Kong Lounge 2? About 35 to 40% of underground utilities are public, meaning they run under the sidewalk or road and the local government manages them. We're talking water mains, gas lines, power lines, sewer lines, that kind of thing. These are usually mapped, though not always well. For starters, some of these pipes are decades old, and the ground could have literally shifted around and moved them. Not necessarily far, but if you're installing a fence here, and the gas line that's supposed to be here is actually here, you've got problems, and so do all the internet users in Armenia. But shifting dirt isn't the only issue. Records of where pipes were laid ages ago can be pretty bad. Often people trying to approximate their current location are working with handwritten spreadsheets and hand-drawn maps from the days before disco, and they're just not always precise or complete enough to dig with confidence. And this is an especially big problem with private utility lines. Private utility lines are the ones that branch off the public ones and into, you're not gonna believe this, private property. So the public power line is public, but the line that comes off it and runs through my yard to power my pool lights is private. Same goes for a given building's septic system, water beyond the meter, electrical lines, internet cables, whatever. They make up the remaining 60 to 65% of all the lines out there, and they're trickier to locate than the public ones because property owners are even less reliable documenters of what they built and where they built it than municipal governments. Not to mention that there's a greater variety of materials and depths of burial at play with private utilities than public ones. When you see guys, and it's almost always guys for some reason, out on the street placing little flags and spray painting mysterious colorful symbols on the sidewalk, 99% of the time they're marking the utilities according to something like this color code system. The other 1% of the time they're using ancient runes to summon Amnexiel, the demon of the lines. But don't worry about that. In the US, you're supposed to call 811 before you dig a hole, and they'll call the companies that might know what utility lines run around there, and they'll send their guys to mark the lines within about 2 days. And then not long after, those lines will disappear because of the rain or the lawnmower or the cruel passage of time, and those utilities' location will be a mystery again. But the big question, of course, is, how do those guys find the lines to mark in the first place? And the answer is, and you're gonna love that as a viewer of Half as Interesting, hyper-specific tools. Most utility locates are done with electromagnetic locators, which have you put a transmitter case around where you think the pipe is, then a ground stake about 90 degrees from the direction you think the pipe is running. Then you attach your transmitter metal to metal to something connected to the line, like a fire hydrant connected to a water line, which closes the circuit. Then, the transmitter sends a radio signal at an exact frequency up and down the line. Then up above, you walk around with a tool that looks a little bit like a leaf blower, but is actually a receiver that can detect this signal as it travels down the metal pipe. And congrats, you know where the utility is. It's not always so straightforward. If there are other metal pipes in the ground, they may distort your signal and mess with your readings. If you can't connect to the line directly, like through the fire hydrant, there are inductive methods to get that radio signal down to the pipe, though it will be weaker after. This usually means putting a clamp around it to induce a signal, or just shooting the signal down into the ground and hoping it catches a ride on the line. If the pipe is made of plastic or some other non-conductive materials, it might have a metal tracer wire on it to help you, or you might have to use some wishy-washier method like ground-penetrating radar or acoustic signals. Or you might have to dig a little bit and connect the dots. All this is something of an art, or depending who you ask, a sport. Every year, there's an event called the International Utility Locate Rodeo. International in the sense of baseball's World Series, wherein all the competitors are American, but Canada gets to send a few guys as a treat. Along with knowing how to use electromagnetic locators and other specialized tools, seasoned locators know how some grass discoloration could indicate a line's location, or how rain-dampened soil could impact their equipment signals, or what frequency to use to get the most traceable signal. And at the rodeo, they test their metal against, well, the metal. If you want to know all the rules, they've got a video about that, but my two favorite rules are 1, that you get penalized for not cleaning up after yourself, and 2, they're willing to accept bribes over $5,000 because that is, to quote, good money. So next time you're out and about and see a little pink flag or a big yellow line on the ground, thank your utility locator because those marks being there might be the difference between your neighborhood being versus not being on fire. And do not, I repeat, do not dig there. Instead, dig into delicious pre-prepared meals from this video's sponsor, Factor. Factor takes all the effort out of eating healthy, balanced meals at home by delivering delicious pre-prepared meals right to your door that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. No more Googling, easy recipe, lots of protein, one pan. No more potato chip dinner because you ran out of time. Instead, there's honey butter chicken breast, spicy sweet potatoes with peanut sauce, and about 80 other options to choose from. I love Factor because it helps me stick to a normal, good-for-me meal routine so I can eat well without having to clear my schedule for the evening to meal prep. That means more time for the things I care about, running, hockey, and watching videos on youtube.com. So whether you're trying to eat healthier, make more time for the things you care about, or just take all that work out of dinner, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code HAIFB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code HAIFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year.